Wir sind sehr froh, hier am Moritz Art Film Festival mit dem Christian Labhart zu sein. Er ist der Regisseur vom Film Diana Segantini Magie des Lichtes. Ein sehr bewegender Film über meinen Urgroßvater, Giovanni Segantini. Christian Labhart, wie kam diese Idee? Wie hast du Giovanni Segantinis Biografie entdeckt?
Ja, das ist sehr lange her. Ich habe bereits mit 20 Jahren, als ich wirklich ein junger Mann war, hatte ich den Segantini zum ersten Mal erfahren. Ich war sehr viel in den Bergen unterwegs, auf Skitouren, auf Klettertouren, im Engadin auch. Und da war mir Segantini sehr schnell ein Begriff. Irgendwann dann seine Bilder später ein bisschen. Diese Bilder haben mich sehr berührt, weil sie haben so diese Natur, aber auch immer mit den Menschen. Also die Menschen fehlen praktisch nie. Es sind keine reinen Naturbilder, sondern es hat ein Schafhirte, der so träumend dort sitzt. Und das hat mich sehr fasziniert, diese Menschen. Und dann ganz am Schluss, erst in den letzten 5 Jahren, habe ich die Texte von Segantini dann auch gelesen. Diese autobiografischen Texte, wo er über sich selbst schreibt und über seine Kämpfe und über einfach über sein Leben. Und das hat dann den Ausschlag gegeben, den Film auch so zu machen, mit seinen Texten im Zentrum. Also das Herz des Filmes sind eigentlich die Texte von deinem Urgroßvater.
Genau.
Ur.
Nein, nur Ur.
Ur. Oh, okay.
Knirgt.
Okay.
Absolut.
Okay,
Eben, wir haben gesagt, Texte, Filme, Bilder. Dieses Festival hat ja zum Leitmotiv Becoming Landscape. Und er wurde eben vom Curatorial Team auch selektioniert, obwohl er schon ein paar Jahre alt ist. Also es ist immer noch ein sehr aktueller Film. Findest du das auch?
Ja, unbedingt. Ich meine, ich habe heute die letzten 20 Minuten gesehen von diesem Film.
Ich war überzeugt, dass die Malerei nicht in der Farbe allein begrenzt ist, sondern dass sie zum Ausdruck aller Gefühle der Liebe, des Schmerzes, der Freude und der Trauer werden könne.
Ich meine, er ist top aktuell auch im Zusammenhang mit der Natur und mit Segantinis Zugang zur Natur. Dieses pantheistische Bild, er war ja nicht religiös, aber er war spirituell. Und ich meine, der Zugang zur Natur, das ist das A und O in der jetzigen Krise. Ich meine, ohne dass wir einen Zugang haben zur Natur, können wir noch so viele Wärmepumpen einsetzen und CO2. Wir müssen einen Bezug haben dazu. Wir wollen das retten, wir wollen das schützen und das, glaube ich, habe ich heute ganz extrem erlebt, als ich den Film wieder einmal gesehen habe.
Und ich denke, ja, da hast du uns wirklich ein tolles Geschenk gemacht, dass wir diesen Film heute im Scala Cinema, im renovierten Scala Cinema hier im Engadin in St. Moritz anschauen konnten, auf großer Leinwand mit einem tollen Sound.
Ja.
Herzlichen Dank.
Und ich finde das Festival so toll. Es ist so eine bunte Mischung. Es gibt ganz extreme Experimentalfilme, wo ich als Alter schon beinahe finde, ich verstehe nichts und so. Und dann, es ist eine super Mischung und dass der Segantini in St. Moritz gezeigt werden kann, das ist natürlich eigentlich das Größte.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
Danke. Grazie Fitch. Und wenn Sie das ganze Gespräch mit Christian Labhart auf Englisch verfolgen wollen, bitte gehen Sie online auf unserer Webpage, können Sie das alles nochmals in Ruhe anschauen. Yeah, it's still a strong piece. So I want to congratulate you because I know that it's been a very long journey. I remember, I think I still didn't have kids. I was still organizing a big show of Segantini at Fondation Baylor. And I think we met actually for the first time in Paris, and also with Guido Magnaguagno, who was my co-curator at the time at Baylor. And we were talking about this film about Segantini, and I was obviously, a film lover already at the time. I started with 14 in documentary filming. But I said, how can you do a meaningful documentary film with such a strong story? And we talked about so many interview partners, and I was like, seeing all the experts, I just got a bit allergic, and I said, no.
But also you would be an interview partner.
I didn't care about myself, but the genre.
Yes.
And you put it on hold for 2-3 years, and you came back with a very radical choice. And I think that's what we saw tonight. How did this very classical interview expert documentary about the great artists, we all know the story, very romanticized and everything, it became radical? How did you dare to do such a thing with Giovanni Segantini, Magic of Night? Please.
First, it's great to be in St. Moritz to see the film about Segantini. It's the best place to have this film, and I must say that I saw the last 20 minutes of the film, and I have to say I'm very touched. I had some tears. I saw the film 100 times, but I think the life of Segantini has something in it that you can, like a spectator, you can make the deal with him, and you can also think about your own life and your own hopes and your own Leidenschaft. What's that?
Passions.
Passions, yes, and so on. And I'm very glad that I had 5 years for this film, to develop this film. And like Diana said, it was more and more radical. And one of the reasons was that I saw the autobiographical words of Segantini. I saw it once in a bookshop, antiquariat.
So the writings, actually.
Yes, the writing.
So what you hear, what Bruno Ganz and Mona Petri were talking about, was his own autobiography.
Yes.
And he was an analphabet until he was 20 years old.
Yes. And then I read this text, these words, and I said, nobody can it explain better than Segantini himself. And why I have to had some specialists, some experts, and so on. Only the voice to Segantini and nowhere else.
And I'm very, very happy for this choice, and I think this applause confirms it, that sometimes you just need to go beyond and be courageous and be passionate and have this connection to yourself and to nature. We'll come to that just later on. I think you just said it very nicely. Each of us have got our destiny, our personal life, our working life, with ups and downs. So we can really relate to the amazing history and the amazing personality, not only of Giovanni Segantini, but also his life's companion, Vice Bugatti, my great-grandmother, with whom he had 4 children. And I think it really touches the zeitgeist, as we also talked about zeitgeist yesterday with Not Vital. So it must be something with the energy pulsating here in the Engadine that attracted so many artists, not only visual artists, but all kinds of artists. So how would you describe this, touching the zeitgeist of the paintings of Segantini, and also the choice of your movie with this amazing, spectacular, and I also had some tears just by the beauty, by the sheer beauty of this wonderful images of Pio Corradi, who's not with us anymore. I mean, I almost felt like the other night after the premiere of this festival, it was a blue moon. So it happens once in a blue moon to do such a amazing, movie with images. So how did you find the whole crew? And also music plays a very important part. So how did this puzzle come together?
The music, for example, it's the music that I like. It's Bach. I like Bach. And sometimes we must get attention not to make too much kitsch. But I hope it's not kitsch. Because if he goes to Schaffberg and the death will come soon, we have music of Bach, and it's okay. But and the other music that was very important, that we have another music, not only the classical Bach. We made it in the church in Maloja, live music with Paul Giger. The music is a modern touch music, and for me it's very important that we have also this music, because Segantini was very modern. His life, his thoughts he had, it could be today, because he says, for example, if I, can you say it, wenn ich,
You might.
ja, weißt du?
Was jetzt?
Sagt einmal, wenn ich Pfarrer wäre, wäre ich jetzt Priester oder Papst.
Nein.
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 Was?
Nein.
Okay. Also, he says, I am painter, I am artist, so I have nobody above me. That's his anarchism. And I was also, as I was 20 years old, 30 years old, I was anarchist. And I said, I want nobody who domine me. I want to be the chief of myself. And so I think a lot of people, they can see in Segantini, for example, also this time.
This vein of, you call it anarchism. He called himself a pantheist, so it's, really his religion was not in the church, because he was very much against all conventions. He never went to church. You have to understand, he had 4 children in a Catholic Italy, and then afterwards in Savonin with 4 kids. Vita Bugatti was always pregnant in Brianza. So please go to the Segantini Museum and you see some amazingly, touching paintings, also with the criticism of this hierarchy. So he was a free spirit, he was a free man, and that's how the family also transmitted these messages that I think are still here in this and the next generation.
Yes, can I say once? Also, it's very actuality, yes, because of the nature. We have now a big problems with nature, with climate change, and all these things. And I think also, if I saw now the pictures of Segantini, and also the pictures of nature in Engadin and in Savonin, and so it's actual, absolutely actual.
That's what I mean with zeitgeist, and I think especially, for a long time, Giovanni Segantini's painting wasn't recognized from the, artist scenes, or because, after the First World War, it was sort of put in the Blut und Boden kitsch, and then later on also, just painting sheep and cows. And he was actually only rediscovered in the late 70s when the first, exhibitions were done. But actually the big revival was with Guido Maniguagno's exhibition in the early 90s at the Kunsthaus in Zurich, where we finally had amazing paintings, and they're so strong and so radical, like Die bösen Mütter, the evil mothers, that you can go and admire at Belvedere in Vienna. And then later on, with my humble contribution at Fondation Bayerler, where he was even described like the Van Gogh of the mountains, and then later on at Palazzo Reale in Milano. So I'm really very grateful that he was actually rediscovered as a painter, and that also through other genres like the film and several books that were published, that he was actually placed at the right level where he is supposed to be. So you said, nature was very, very important. The main topic of this festival is becoming landscape. How do you interpret, also relating to your film and Segantini, what is your take on becoming landscape, or what would his be?
On the first view, landscape is only nature, and as I saw now the film, it's also my landscape inside of me, because I hear his voice, his thoughts, his words, and it's a landscape inside me. That's and the Segantini, he creates this landscape in the people. They saw his pictures and also his films, and for me this is landscape. And I want to tell a little story. Bruno Ganz, he is dead, like Pio Corradi, the camera operator. And as we made the sound registration in the sound studio, I saw him in the bus. He didn't know me, and in the bus he take a little bread, and he did his bread like a normal person, and his voice it's wonderful. And during the registration in the studio, there is one Stelle im Film, also eine Stelle im Film.
One passage
in the film where Segantini says the women, they are stupid because they only think on maquillage and like this and so. And Buragansi said, have I speak that? I don't like it. And then we said, okay, it's Segantini, and he made it, of course. He's a professional, but it was a very interesting thing with Bruno Ganz.
Absolutely, and there is not only one version of this film. The DVDs are outside. You can also, take them home. Only four. So first come, first serves. So I was really amazed that you managed to have for each version, so Bruno Ganz obviously and Mona Petri, for the French version, very important, Marthe Keller, La Grande Dame du Cinéma, and for the Italian version, Teco Celio, who was with Vito Romiani just doing a film now. So they're all, very great actors who immediately accepted to interpret it, because they also could immediately identify. Is that correct?
Yes, Bruno Ganz, he said, for me, Segantini, a great painter. I will read the text like this.
Wonderful. So thank you so much. And as you said, Giovanni Segantini was really living ahead. He was also a pioneer. He was living ahead of his time. And really always wanting to go beyond. His life's mission was always to go higher up, literally, he died at the apice of his life, at the height of his career and life. He was only 41 years old when he died, at the Schafberg. And he's still inspiring a lot of people. I mean, Joseph Beuys did an amazing work, also Voglio vedere le mie montagne, that we exhibited at the Kunsthaus in Zurich. And recently, Anselm Kiefer dedicated a big bulk of his work to Giovanni Segantini. Again, für Giovanni Segantini, voglio vedere le mie montagne. So there's always this pioneer and rediscovering this dichotomy of tradition, deeply rooted, and modern zeitgeist.
I had one question during my work in this film, during the shooting, also during the editing of the film, and this question was, how can a man make such a big art with a start in their life, like children or our in the youth? It was very, very difficult. How is it possible that a human being can make such an art with such difficult start in the life? That was an important question for me, to be always in touch with this man.
Thank you so much. I think we could go on and on and on. We're in the Engadin. It's the home of Segantini. We still live in the fifth generation in Malaya. It's a private house, but we also have the little atelier, so it's a small museum. There's a wonderful magical place, so like the museum here in St. Moritz, so you can feel Segantini everywhere. And I'm really very grateful for the festival, to the festival, for having selected this timepiece of really having, put it into this wonderful theme of becoming landscape. We're already, running out of time. I would like to take 2, maximum 3 questions from the audience. And then I would like to invite you all to a little aperitivo in the restaurant with some Segantini wines, because he was ein Lebemann. He loved to eat and drink. He never had a penny. He was famous already when he was alive, but he wanted to invite the family and his friends always to have a good time together and have deep conversations. And I would like to have this later on.